Biological Classification, Session 14. Dear children, we've come to the last part of the chapter, and in this module we are going to learn about viruses, viroids and lichens. Dear children, the term viruses would be the most fearful or would be the most popular term among you right now in this scenario of COVID pandemic. And let's learn about what is this viruses. The viruses are non-cellular or acellular obligate parasites. Obligate parasites means it cannot complete its life cycle without its host, and such a parasite is called as obligate parasite, and it is characterized with the presence of an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell. Okay, if it is outside a host cell, it is nothing but an inert crystalline structure. But once it enters into a host cell or infects a cell, they kill the host cell. It starts to dominate or it takes over the cellular machinery of the host cell to replicate themselves because they do not have its own machinery. So they take the host machinery and it kills the host cell and starts to replicate inside or make copies of the virus inside a host cell. And the name virus was given by Pasteur. It was given by Louis Pasteur, and the meaning of the word virus is venom or poisonous fluid. So venom or poisonous fluid is the meaning of the term virus. Let's learn about the history of the discovery of viruses. D.G. Ivanovsky recognized certain microbes as the causal organism of mosaic disease of tobacco. Okay, so tobacco, tobacco, D.G. Ivanovsky recognized certain microbes which caused a disease, and that disease is called as tobacco mosaic disease. And he found that the microbe which causes disease was smaller than bacteria because these organism passed through bacteria-proof filters, as they could pass through the filters which could not allow bacteria. They are considered to be smaller than bacteria, and this was a finding given by D.G. Ivanovsky. Later, W. Bijanik, he demonstrated that the extract of the infected plants, that is, the plants which are infected by this microbe, and the extract was taken from this tobacco plant, and when it was injected into a healthy plant, it caused an infection in that healthy plant also. And W. Bijanik, he called the fluid as contagium vivum fluidum. So he called it as contagium vivum fluidum because the extract of that particular microbe which infected the plant could cause infection in a healthy plant. And it was M. Stanley who showed that these viruses could be crystallized, and this crystals was mainly composed of proteins which was inert outside a specific host cell. So they are inert, they do not have any activity outside a living cell, but they become highly active inside a host cell. In addition to proteins, the viruses have a genetic material, either DNA or RNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid and RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. And it can be either double-stranded RNA or single-stranded RNA or double-stranded DNA, depending upon whether the infected plants. Usually the plants infected virus, they have single-stranded RNA, and the virus which infects animals, they have double-stranded DNA or double-stranded RNA. Now let's learn about bacteriophages. Do you know what are bacteriophages? They are viruses which infect bacteria. And these bacteriophages, they have double-stranded DNA. Okay, they are double-stranded DNA, and the protein coat which covers the genetic material is called as capsid. And this capsid is made up of number of subunits called as capsomeres, which gives protection to the nucleic acid. So the protein coat is called as a capsid, and it is made up of number of repeating units called as the capsomeres. Viruses also causes diseases in human beings like mumps, smallpox, herpes, influenza, AIDS, and the most trending disease, COVID, caused by corona. So this is a picture of different types of viruses. And this one, which looks like a spider or a robot, it is a bacteriophage. Now, let us learn about viroids. Viroids are smaller than viruses. See, viruses we learned they are smaller than bacteria, and viroids are even smaller than viruses, and they have a free RNA. They have a free RNA. That means they are not having a protein coat which surrounds the genetic material, and hence the name viroid. Okay, hence the name viroid because it is lacking a protein coat which is present in viruses. And lastly, let us learn about lichens. We have already learned about lichens. They are symbiotic association between an algae and a fungi. Here the algal partner is called as a phycobiont and the fungal partner is called as a mycobiont. And both help each other. And that means it is in association with each other in such a way that they share a beneficiary relationship. The algae prepares food for fungi, and the fungi provide shelter and absorb mineral nutrients and water for its algal partner. So, lichens are very good pollution indicators. So, it is found only in regions where there is less pollution. And here there is a picture of a lichen. So, dear children, in this module, we have learned about the viruses, viroids, and lichens, which are not included by R.H. Whittaker in their system of classification.